Am I like? Oh God, I'm terrible. I'm very long-winded.
No, that was fantastic.
You're taking like 13 years, and I didn't even like answer your question. Like, where did the name Glisten and Glow come from? I mean, that's where it came from, but like, we don't need to record this part. But here's where it really came from. So I used to watch Young and the Restless, and they had a product called on their fake company at Newman Enterprises or Jabot Cosmetics was Glow by Jabot. And so I was like, oh, I love the glow. And I was like, what goes with glow? Glisten. Okay, done.
See, I love that, though, because I am like...
But that would have been a shorter answer.
No, but that's not what we want.
Yeah.
We don't want you to just be like, well, it was this.
Yeah. No. Yes. No, that's a horrible interview. It's kind of interview I would give.
It is. We always joke with Danny. It's like, would you like to elaborate?
No.
Long pause.
No.
I'm good.
Yeah. Then I'm over here like, I know this is a nail polish podcast, but I'm going to have to tell you about the plot of Twilight.
Yeah, I
Tangent time.
I honestly am in awe at times where you're like discussing a show and I'm going, how the hell does she know all that? How does she? I can't even pay attention to 5 minutes of The Real World from like 1999, let alone... I'm like, how does she know all that? Like, who? What?
See, my slight secret is that I actually don't watch a lot of stuff. Like, I watch a lot of like YouTube, and that includes a lot of nail content. And so like that I keep pretty fresh in my mind, you know, the new releases and things that happen. But like, people are always like, you should watch this movie, you should watch this show. And I'm like, no. I'm gonna watch The Boy 2016 3 times in a week. And then I'm gonna write a fanfic about it. And then I'm going to be the world's foremost expert on The Boy 2016.
That's where your name comes from, with the phonetic.
That's true. Now that makes sense.
Yeah, that is actually... I wanted to be Fanicure, but then... Actually, okay, there was 2 things. I wanted to be Fanicure, but then I looked up Fanicure, and it was all sports teams. They were all sports teams manicures. And it was also, like, already a thing. Like, people were saying Fanicure. Yeah. And then I was thinking of doing Manic Cure, but then I was like, that sounds... Maybe it could be a little bit ableist. I don't really want to ride that line. So I went to my sister, who's, like, very good at this stuff, oddly. She wrote, like, a bunch of my favorite jokes at the Jungle Cruise, actually, nice. That are now, like, written into the script. And they don't say who wrote them in the script.
I was going to say, no credit.
No credit, but I was the one who put them in.
Sure.
But I was like, I can't figure out. And she's like, what about Fanaticure? And I was like, Shannon, you're a genius.
Genius. The simple fact that you thought that much about it, you're very analytical, and I do like that. Has people ever said that? Because I'm analytical, but you're analytical too. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that.
I know, actually, that's the first time anybody said, I don't know if anybody's ever told you that, where they actually had never told me that.
Okay.
Like, no, actually, no one's ever said that to me. They were just like... Yeah. They do say I put a lot of thought into stuff, but usually it's kind of in a backing away slowly way.
Wow,
you've got...
I used to get the, oh, Jill.
Hi, welcome to Two Lacquered Ladies, the podcast about nail polish and nail art by the ladies who stream it. I'm Stephanie, aka Fanaticure, on every social media platform that matters. I'm an unprofessional nail artist, and I like to make fan art on my nails.
Howdy, my name is Danny, and you can find me as Danny Shout online. I am a science educator by day and a nail art hobbyist by night. On stream, I like to create scenes with themes on my nails.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Two Lacquered Ladies.
Hope your beginning of your 2023 is going smoothly, going well, going less flooded than
than my
Stephanie
state.
Says.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I did not expect to talk about the weather, Danny. But the weather has been absolutely wild around me. We had mediocre Manny's, and she came from Michigan, freezing cold, and then she's like, yeah, we're going to California, and it
The Sunshine State.
It poured the whole time. We went to the Early Color Labs, and we were sopping wet. And then we immediately went to an outdoor party. It was like, this is, oh my God.
Normally this is fine.
Yeah. So it was, it's been wild. We also had like the most insane wind. I don't know where it was coming from, but there's a draft in my house, and it was like slamming the door to this room open and shut. And I was like,
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I
don't
like believe in ghosts
all.
Until I hear a door slam closed.
Well, you see, as everybody knows, I have been obsessively watching this. I used to say it was very bad, but now that I'm getting more into it, I think that I'm getting Stockholm Syndrome, and it's very good. But I'm very into this horror movie where there is a feral wall boys, and maybe I'm into him a little bit. So I'm like, maybe. Is it you? Have you come for me? Wall boy, is that you? I asked Husbando if he would still love me if I was a feral wall boy. And he was like, I don't really know how that would work. Our walls are really thin. But yeah, I have been obsessed with the horror movie, the 2016 horror movie, The Boy. It's got a pretty wild twist, but it's also not very scary, so if you're into that, check it out. But I'm making it everybody else's problem, but I swear to keep that at a minimum today.
Yes, I've been hearing a lot about this movie.
Everything against your will.
I've yet to be convinced to watch it.
I don't think you should. You don't need to. You can just live through the memes.
Okay.
How has your week been, though, Danny? Less wet than mine?
Yeah, it's been good. It is wet now here, too. I got woken up by Mr. Cappuccino because it was thundering, and I had to put his little thunder shirt on. My special boy. He's a dog, by the way.
Saw your child that you're like, oh,
and I gotta
scared of the thunder. Put on your shirt.
What are those called? Straight jackets.
Put on your straight jacket and get back to your room.
And get back in your cage.
This is how you get a feral wall boy, Danny. I will have you know.
Okay, Cappuccino has all of the hallmarks of a feral wall boy. It's true.
I believe it. My cat also has all the hallmarks. Not Shepherd, who everyone knows, but Neko Sensei, the more secretive one. Shy, loves his mother, loves to kiss, lives in the wall, stinky, all of the above. Anyway, so I gotta say, today we have a very special guest. Today we have Jill, the creator of Glisten and Glow. I have to introduce her because she is gesticulating madly in her little window, and I gotta bring her into the conversation.
Yes,
because she is such a hoot. We have such a good time when we chat, and we have chatted a few times, middle of the night, in and out of bathrooms. Jill, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you? I'm still laughing that that's a you said a dog, not a cat, not a child and a cat, or
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino.
My dog.
At first, I'm like, what's she doing with her cappuccino? Like, and then I. Very good. Yes.
Danny's coughing gets very upset.
I am doing good. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Yes, we have talked in probably every room in the house and in the shop at this point.
Yeah. I love getting calls from Jill because it's just like, ooh, it's time. And it's like, where will she be today?
Yeah.
Jill is first and really only Polish creator that we have become friends with over here at Two Lacquered Ladies. She showed up on a day that I was doing a ranked list of all the different polish makers, not polish makers, but polish brands that I own. And very luckily her brand was a good one. She wasn't going to show up and be like, I see how you feel.
Delete.
Yeah, exactly. Never. And then we banned her from chat. No. But yeah, it was a really great day, and it's just so exciting because Glisten and Glow, I know this is gonna maybe be, I feel like, given specifically the top coat, like such an industry juggernaut in that way, that it was like, I was just like, what? And then I made my friends who are our swatchers very jealous because I got some PR polish, and they were like, what is that?
You see, you got, when you go to the bathroom with me, you know.
See, everybody, go to the bathroom with Jill. Just try it once.
Well, it was I think Nick's Instagram Nick's Polish Instagram said it, and I'm like, what are they doing bingo? What the heck is this? That's so cool. Like, I was like, boom. And we're all out on the deck. My significant other, Jaren, and my neighbor, Laura, were out on the deck because it was still like nice out, you know? And we're watching this, and Stephanie starts like, you know, getting excited that I've come in, and my neighbor's like, "Oh my God, you're famous!" I'm like, "No, I'm not." It's just,
You are though.
It's just in this little world, in this little tiny world of nail polish. That's where I'm. Somebody knows who I am. Yeah, that's it. That's all. But that's okay. But it was great, and we watched you, and we thought it was great how you guys did it. You did the bingo boards. It was unique, and I love unique. I love different. After doing this for so long, anything unique and different is where it takes my attention. And I didn't know about Twitch. I was like, what the hell's that? Like, what? You know, different things like that. But yeah, definitely it was interesting what you guys were doing, and I loved it. And I loved the banter and the commentary and you were giving your raw, honest opinions on, different, like you were rating the different things. And then that led to your polish pickup bingo, which I loved also. I thought that was interesting. Very interesting. And I love that. And I was like, that's cool. They're doing that. And again, it's different. I've seen everything in almost 13 years. So anything different is where I am at for sure. Heck, a podcast is different. I mean, I don't think we've ever had a nail polish related podcast in this industry that I'm aware of.
So far as I know, no. And Orly is copying us. Don't let anyone tell you differently. So Jill, you said you've been doing this for 13 years.
13 on March 10th of this year.
March 10th, birthday's coming up.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Glisten and Glow.
Thank you.
So actually, I'd like to know where the name came from first. Were you always
Sure.
Glisten and Glow?
Yes. So I started when I was in college. Okay, let me segue here. I'll give you the very, very long story, very short.
Okay.
I went to a private high school, and we were able to, after the school hours, you could do sports or do whatever. And I worked, and I went to become a nail tech because I always wanted to be a cosmetologist. Oh, that was always my dream. I wanted to do something in that field because I said, that's me. Well, that was not my parents' dream of what their only child was going to do with their life. Okay. Their only child was going to go to college and, do all of that. Right. Okay.
Right.
So, I, after school, went to become a nail tech. It was, I want to say, we're going back to 1996 now. So it was a long time ago. And I want to say it was 6-8 months, maybe 11 months. I'm not sure. I just don't remember. And I became a nail tech, and I worked in a salon, and then I went to college. So, okay. In college, I started Glisten and Glow mobile nail salon. I also worked at like a tanning place. I worked at a bunch of different places. But it was something I did on the side because people were going who worked full time in Hartford, because I'm from Connecticut. So Hartford is the insurance capital, and a lot of people work in Hartford. And to where I went to college, it's about a 40-minute ride. So people would be getting home very late at night from their job or whatever, or the weekend was the only time they could do it. And then I did a lot of nursing homes and elderly facilities, did like assisted livings, and just people who couldn't necessarily go to the salon. And so I did that. I did pedicures, manicures, whatever. Did a little bit of artificial nails in that regard. But that's what I did for that time period for about 3.5 years. And then after college, I worked for AT&T, which was, I was a corporate sales rep. I worked in a couple different departments within the company, but AT&T as a whole, like it was SBC and then it was AT&T, not just the cell phones. It was everything. Yeah. It was like California has it. You're one of the, SBC states.
I remember this so well because my mom for the longest time had an SBC Global email address, and I refused to change it, and it caused so many problems, so I'm just laughing.
Yes. SBCglobal.net. Yes. Yes.
Change it.
Yes. You're like, yeah. Yes.
AT&T was so mad at her because she'd call and be like, I'm having problems, and because she'd call AT&T, and it's like, why would you do that? But she'd call and like be like, I'm having problems. The person would be like, what are you talking about? Because it's been so long. It's the same thing as SBC Global.
No, I know it. Yeah, it's so true. No, it's true.
Yeah. So, anyway, go on.
But I probably sold her that email. No,
that'd be
that would have been. But no, so I did that for a long time, and I still kept the mobile business going always. And then, obviously as time changes, the companies change. With AT&T actually bought out SBC, so it became, political changes happen within the company and sales changes, and then your commissions change, and then they want to change your location in the state. So now I'm driving further. And then we have the healthcare situation. A lot of these are real topics. That's why I talk about them. The healthcare situation, a lot of people couldn't leave who wanted to work independently in this industry or other cosmetic type industries. You can't leave because we had healthcare tied to our jobs. And AT&T is a union shop and it has healthcare. And I had pre-existing health conditions and I had a big car accident in 2009. So I said, okay, I can't leave, but then the healthcare is going to be like $4,000 a month, and who's paying that? Like, let's be real. Obama brought in I hate the term Obamacare, but they couldn't look at pre-existing health conditions for your ability to get healthcare. So once that happened, and I knew I'd be able to buy it on the private market without pre-existing health conditions, it would not be $4,000. It would be like $500, like it is today, but a month, but it would still be more reasonable, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, I had also continued, this was 2013 now, and I had continued to grow the business, for that time period. So I said, okay, in 2010, I was working at AT&T. I saw the writing on the wall that things were going to be making massive changes. I said, I want to get into customizable bath and body products. I want to get into nail polish. I want to do things and go back to the grassroots of where I started, right? Where I always wanted to be. Yeah. But that wasn't what was acceptable for me to be, right? Not that it wasn't. I don't want to say that, but it was what wasn't the best choice, right? So I said, okay. I started making scrubs. I would customize the labels. Well, you come to find out there's not a lot of money in scrubs and lotions and shampoos and that kind of stuff. So you'd still do some of it, but you work into the, the different genres of cosmetics, if you will. And nail polish is classified as cosmetic, So I went into, finding the best top coats, finding the best base coats, finding the best products, making them, going back to, cuticle oils and cuticle balms and just broadening it. And then we're broadening it to where I sold, because I'm licensed, I could sell OPI, China Glaze, Orally, Zoya, those guys. So I used to sell those on my site with my other nail care products. So then I would sell everything. Then that's when I started making nail polish and then going from there. But in 2013, I had enough stockists in the world or distribution channels in the world and in my own traffic in my own store that I was able to leave AT&T because, again, the healthcare was going to be changing for January 1, 2014. They were also going to move my office over 60 minutes away. Oh. And I said, I'm not doing it. In the snow? No. In the ice? No. We good.
In perfect, beautiful weather conditions?
Yeah,
no.
Sure.
No. In LA, you gotta.
Yeah, right. No, I know.
There's no choice. Anything can be an hour drive.
No, it is. And if they were like, well, and then you get to pay $90 for parking a month. I went, huh?
Oh, that's a big no, because that takes your net for your health insurance down to $400 a month.
Oh yeah, seriously. And so I was just like, I honestly had to step back and say, can I do this? And I couldn't tell anyone I was doing it. I couldn't tell my then husband. I couldn't tell my father. I couldn't tell anyone. And so one of my friends, we packed up all the stuff that was at my house, and I rented out a space in the next town over from me, and I started going to work every day there.
Oh,
and I didn't. Yes, and
the real tea.
Yes. And so I went to work there every day. And listen, there was a beautiful flat roof on one of the other buildings that was connected to it. And please believe we sat out there in the anti-gravity chairs and looked at the stars, and we got the sunbathing. Oh, it was fantastic. Please. It was great, even during the day. But so I didn't say anything because I'm a person, and I think I'm a very independent person as an only child. I had to be able to prove it to myself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to prove it to myself. And I knew I could do it. But I have to sell this to the other people that are in my life.
Right.
And I have to show it. And thank God I could show it. I got the health care. I did the whole thing. I did it all by myself. The whole thing. And that's when it really started. It started to really ramp up. I mean, I still did, I couldn't have left my full-time job in 2010 before 2013. And I was super happy that I could, because then you're living every day. I say, I'm so blessed because every day I get to live my dream. And I guess I think it was Frank Sinatra saying it, I did it my way.
Yeah.
And that's
awesome.
exactly what I did. And the ability to breathe and as we'll go to the bathroom when you want.
Yeah.
And nobody goes, all right, Jill, there's calls in queue. You gotta go back to the phone.
Oh, I just had I had flashbacks.
We all got flashbacks.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, no, not the phone.
I know.
Yeah.
For me, it's like sticking my head out into the hall, desperately looking for another adult walking by. Please watch my kids so I can go potty.
It's just so I can go potty. Yeah, I know. And that's hard, and you get to the ability to customize my schedule there's things that are priceless, and there's things that are like monetarily you need them to live, right? Mm-hmm. But the ability to have and build your own schedule, and that is the ultimate freedom and the ultimate no monkeys on your back, if you will. But I proved it, and I didn't tell my father that I left until probably 6 months after I left. And I didn't tell my then husband. I told him that I had taken a buyout from the company because his mother worked there too. And she took a buyout. So that just segued nicely. And I was like, I took a buyout too. And then I think I finally told him several years later, oh no, I didn't take a buyout. I just
I didn't tell you.
I just left. I never even cleared off my desk. I didn't even show up. I just was like, deuces, I'm out.
Bye. Someone can have the plant. I'm back.
Yeah, and I had slowly taken all my stuff off my desk that I wanted, but then they called me and they wanted their badge back, their ID. I said, no, that's a good picture. You ain't getting it back.
I'm framing that. It's a memento.
Yes.
All right,
it's literally hanging. It hangs. It's such a good picture.
I already respected and was in awe of you, but you just took it to a whole nother level after that story. That's amazing.
I'm in love with the idea of the secret Glisten and Glow compound.
Secret compound, yes!
And also, I feel like now I don't usually see mobile salons.
No, so you've been inventive from the beginning.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we're because nowadays I see a lot of two things: mobile car washes and mobile dog washes.
Dog washes, yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever heard of a mobile salon, and I'm always thinking from an accessibility standpoint.
Yeah.
I've had a disability in the past. I'm kind of on and off disabled, to be honest. I've had a lot of friends who are disabled. And so I also worked at Disneyland, and I've dealt with a lot of disabled people. And so it's made it really forefront in my heart. So hearing you say that a big part of it was visiting people who couldn't get out to a salon just makes me go oh, you're doing the Lord's work. But
yeah,
we're not, but going on, what gave you the idea to do that? Were there other people doing that?
To do a mobile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. No, it came down to, here's what it was. I was working at the university. I worked for, I think, 2 years during college at the University of Connecticut, because UConn was just up the road from where I went to. I went to Eastern Connecticut State, and UConn was about 25 minutes up the road, and they had the Center for Survey Research and Analysis. And it was calling for surveys, everything between gubernatorial, political to national surveys. Oregon had Clackamas County had paid the survey center to do surveys on their land and use surveys. As silly as that sounds, let me tell you, that stuff is very interesting. Mm-hmm. And I actually loved it. And I almost went to get a master's in survey research. I was so close to going, let me tell you. Had I not met my then husband, I probably would have done it, to be very honest with you. And now you go, well, should I have done that? You think like, no, I'm happy to be where I am. But
I'm kind of glad he didn't.
yeah. So I actually was talking to someone on a survey, and they said they were explaining how they worked so many long hours and their commute was so far that by the time they would come back to their hometown or wherever, the nail place was closed. And she's like, I can't get my nails done. And then she said, my mother, who's in such and such assisted living, they have the hairdresser, but they don't have a nail person. These people would get this is Connecticut. They're getting their nails done, okay? They are. That's the bottom line. So it was like, okay, sounds good. Let's do it. Sure enough, I said, let me do this and we'll be good to go. Sure enough, I did. I started it. I just advertised, kind of like a little bit on social media, a little bit just like word of mouth, because I worked at a tanning place too. So it was like, oh, do you know someone who's, whatever, and then like, you just hear about stuff back and forth, like that's kind of what it was. Where I went to college, I posted some flyers in the library, I think, and a couple classroom buildings, and alumni office and admissions. It's just like a few different places, like, busy schedule, need your nails done, can't make it home, whatever. Sure enough, they were like, yeah, this is something. And it was like, again, the ability to have that time freedom. Life, there's one thing in life we don't get back, and it's time.
Yeah.
So that's if I'm always fighting for time, because money, it becomes nothing, because it can't buy time. I don't get every second we talk back or whatever we get back. And that's fine as long as I'm doing what I call something of being a productive member of society and it's a good choice for me and it makes me happy, So again, that freedom aspect of it, being able to kind of work your own schedule. And I was more a night owl than a morning owl per se. So that was better because people were up and I was like, yeah, let's go. And then let's not get it twisted. I was at the bar till 2 every night also. Let's not. But
I was going to say the time freedom, like Jill is always up so late. We've had a few conversations that it was like, I was just like, I was burning the midnight oil here on the West Coast. Right. And I'm like, you have like, it is like 6 a.m. where you are. We're just like doing stuff, talking about formulas and things like that. And A, it was like, well, this is the dream. And then B, it was like, dang, Jill. Like, I thought I rode hard.
Yes.
Jill is up all night working.
There was and it's true. There was two things I had several years after I had purchased my townhouse. My mortgage guy could see on Facebook that I was up late and all this other stuff, and he goes, "What are you, a vampire?" And I was like, "No." And then it was I had a brand that is no longer a brand. Years ago, they've been closed for a long time. Above the Curve was the brand, and it was a husband and wife team. And they said to me, I worked on like a collab with them or something, and they said, Jill, I don't think anyone will ever understand that you are literally the hardest working person in polish because you do not stop.
I believe it.
And that's, you're not able to do this job by yourself and not work as many hours and as not be dedicated and as passionate to it as to you. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't. And if I didn't build it, we wouldn't be here today.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Brick
Does that
by
make
brick.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the sacrifices ultimately that you make is, I have no children. I never wanted them. Did that shop that I had before, it eventually, there was a fire in it, and it eventually burned. And so now we're in the shop now. We were home. I was home for a long time with the product, and you're walking around boxes constantly, and you sacrifice your home. You sacrifice, that kind of stuff. And then I found this place, and I'm super happy in my current location. It has retail in the front, and but again, with COVID, we shut a lot of that stuff down because it was just too risky. And I had my mom's help, and I had one of my best friends, Ashley, Pod. We have nicknames for each other, Pod. She helped me for many, many years, and then she relocated down to Florida, so that was hard. And I had friends. My girlfriend Amy would help. My girlfriend Kim would help at times. My mom really did help quite a bit. And then she got breast cancer in 2018. So it was very hard for her to do anything. And then I met my Jaron I got divorced, and I met my Jaron in 2020. And he just came to love this business. And I think that he renewed my passion in it because there's a burnout level, of course, just like swatcher burnout is real. So is maker burnout. And when it's what puts food on your table and pays your health care, you don't get to have maker burnout, if that makes sense. The show must go on, and you don't get a day off. You don't get a choice. You're doing it. It's the ultimate freedom, but the biggest harness to that freedom also. So you have to make of it what you will. But if you love what you're doing, every day is wonderful. And that's we're good. So I'm blessed. I say it every day. I'm blessed. Every day, I think we wake up sometimes, and Sarah from Cupcake Polish said one day to me, she said, I still wake up every day and still don't understand how people can buy a $13 bottle of nail polish. But then we do. It's completely different than mainstream. Yeah. The love, sweat, and tears that goes into it, the qualities, the special effects, all of these things differ vastly from, what mainstream has or even boutique has sometimes. But I think it's very interesting. And I asked the question too, but listen, people buy crazier stuff.
You're right.
More,
yeah,
right?
Well, for sure.
Hence my Amazon.
What I always think, and how I justified it, which is really bad for me to justify this way, because I never got my nails done other than as a treat occasionally, before I got into specialty nail polish, is it would cost me 3 times this much to go get a manicure, and I could have as many manicures, not as many, but I can have, 10 times the amount of manicures from one bottle. Now, when you're buying 30 bottles a month, that kind of negates itself at best. But that is how I've justified it in the past, and now I'm just a maniac.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it. I love it.
I have to bring up because our audience has to know, because we're gonna make a joke about it later. But also, Jill she really makes use of every moment of her time.
Yes,
especially there has been so many times, person to person, or just her in chat, where she's in the shower, in the bathroom, all these different things, always making the
multitasking.
Multitasking. I am telling you, there was only so many hours in the day, and when you own a business, whether it's a small or large business, you're not just the president. You are also the janitor. You are the secretary. You're the bookkeeper. You're the accountant. Now, and I delegate a lot of those tasks. I'm very blessed to have my father who takes care of those things and helps. And I'm learning the process. And we have the bookkeeper and the accountant and the insurance guy and the whole nine. But it takes a village. But at the end of the day, it's still your responsibility. If the garbage doesn't go out, it doesn't matter if it says CEO. You're still taking the garbage out. So I had to capitalize upon every moment of every day. So if I'm in the shower, I am going to be listening to your Twitch streams or a YouTube video, or I will listen to talk on the phone, whatever it is. If I have to get it done, we are multitasking. I used to run 2 phones. Also, that's another thing I used to do. I used to run 2 phones so I could post and still be on the phone and still be doing something else. Now, where does AT&T come into play on this? Let me tell you this real quick. Because it's always going to come into play because, listen, AT&T did one thing very well. They taught me how to work, right? They taught me how to be an effective employee, right? I used to have 18 mini screens on my big screen computer that I had to look at to do when I was talking on the phone to customers. So I learned to multitask very quickly between 18 screens all at once. So for me to do 2 phones, that's nothing. That's like, I could do that. You know, I used to have to also write in like call it shorthand, but like you took all the vowels out of everything. So now I don't know how to spell anything anymore, but you know, but that's the downside. But that's what it taught me in that sense, and how to, I'm always been very comfortable talking. So how to talk to people and how to relate to everyone. Every socioeconomic class, every gender, whatever. Yeah. I can relate to that. And chameleonize, if you will, because there's always something you can pick up from someone, no matter where you are. You can always find a common ground with someone, and I feel that that's something that's very missing in this country, is just find a common ground with someone. You probably wouldn't have a problem with them, right? Mm-hmm. That would be smart. So, and I think that all helps to come to the business sense of nail polish, because honestly, a lot of times the easiest part of the business is making the nail polish, and is doing the like daily work. It's all the other stuff in the back that actually takes a lot more time, and I think people don't see that. You know what I mean? And that's the truth in nail polish.
Yeah, and that's what we're interested in hearing about, because you know, we can sit here and think up formulas and new polishes all day and stuff, but like what would it take to actually put that on a website and sell it? And you know, I have no idea all the back of house stuff that you have to go through.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing. And then when you see a nail polish and you're like, how can this, somebody gives you an idea and you're like, I love that idea, but it's just not going to translate the way that you want it to translate. I hate that feeling. That's the hardest thing.
That's me with like half of my streams. Yes. I'm like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. Steph, you got to pare it down, because you put all of that on your nails. It's just not. Anyway, with that in mind, we are going to oil our cutes really quickly. We got to make sure that Jill is up on her cuticle care, because she works so hard. I know that she probably slips through the cracks sometimes. So we are going to oil our cutes. Oh yeah, I see a Glisten and Glow cuticle pen over there. Very good, everybody. GlistenandGlow.com. Use code Steph10. Just try it out. Anyway.
See what happens.
See what happens.
This is French vanilla. French vanilla.
I could probably even smell that without you're using it, and you have the same issue as me, where the sense, okay, well now I feel like a fake
Where's
fan.
yours, okay. Stephanie?
Look, everybody, I put it in my Sally Hansen bottle. I'm gonna oil my cutes. We'll be right back.
That's okay. Thanks.
Right. That's awesome. Hey everyone, it's Stephanie, and I'm here to give you some updates from the Two Lacquered Ladies extended universe. First up, I have a new streaming schedule. I have dropped my Sunday night streams and moved them to Monday afternoon. My current streaming schedule is Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, with special movie nights every other Friday evening. Our next movie night will be Friday, February 17th, and we'll be watching Twilight Eclipse. So if you're 18 plus and want to join, head on over to the Fanaticure Discord. Also, Danny's been hard at work at her day job, but she does have a new video available on her YouTube channel. All of our links are in the description, so head on over and be sure to drop her a like and subscribe. Stay lacquered! Okay, we are back. We are moisturized, inner lane thriving. We have oiled our cutes. I have put on some bag balm TM because that's my thing now, partially just to antagonize Hillary. Anyway, so we are back. Jill has also oiled her cutes. She is part of the Cute Oiling Club. Yes. And what do we have next, Danny?
Well, we've talked a tiny bit about the formulas, but mostly about where the business came from, and what a great story that was, Jill. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'd like to get into like more specific like products that you are known for, and I think your top coat is probably the juggernaut. You know, everyone knows Glisten and Glow top coat is the best top coat. Can you tell us where that came from?
Thank you. Sure, absolutely. Initially I had found a product that I thought was an amazing product, an amazing top coat. And I was like, this is amazing. And I could buy it in little bottles and pre-bottled. And I was like, this is amazing. This is a great top coat. I just want everyone to know who has it. And this was back when I sold OPI, China Glaze, Orally, SE on my website, right? And so I said, okay, this is such a great top coat. Well, then I couldn't buy it in the little bottle anymore. So I said, okay, well, do they sell it in the larger? So then I bought it in a 32-ounce bottle. Well, then how am I going to get these people the product? So then I've had to find bottles. Okay. Again, nobody was doing this. There was no guide map. There was no person telling you what's right or wrong. There was nobody making top coat. Nobody makes top coat. They buy it from a manufacturer, right? But I said, okay, let me try. I liked it. I was like, this is great. This is a great product. So then I was like, well, what am I going to put on the top of the label? Well, how are they going to know what it is? Again, nobody's doing this. There's nobody in this industry. Barely people are not making nail polish. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? So I said, okay, we'll shorten it up and call it HK Girl. That was the name of the top coat initially. So I said, okay, came from Hong Kong Girl, which was the brand, right? The top coat there. So I was just selling it, not even for like a profit. I was just selling it so people could get a great top coat. Well, then people started experiencing like a lot of like thickening, a lot of shrinking, a lot of, just different issues. Okay. So I know as a nail tech, I know how to solve those issues. There's several ingredients that you can add to a product to make it better. Not just nail polish thinner, but there's other ingredients that you can add that will make it better for you, right? Or work better and not have those shrinking issues and longevity and not an more even consistency. About that time was when I got a lawsuit from the company that I was buying it from, saying you're using our trademark and you can't do that. So I had to then not buy their product anymore. I had to then think of a whole new name for the most recognized top coat in the indie market. And I had to then say, okay, now how do you explain this to the customer? This story has never been told. Okay. So I wasn't trying to like be shady. I didn't know what to do. It's just me. I'm just a person. So I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't get this top coat anymore. It's amazing. I have a bunch of it still, obviously. So I've got a lawsuit. I've got legal papers. So I got an attorney right away, had to go to my father and say, this is what's, happening. What do we do? He said, okay, well, we have to change the name. Obviously the problem is the name. They don't like the name being used. Okay, whatever. Fine. Cool. We'll move on. Now this is many years in at this point. So I'm like, okay, I think it was 2017, I want to say. So I said, okay. So I went to multiple manufacturers throughout the United States, physically went to them. I went when I was in the Torrance trade show in California. I headed up to a manufacturer in California. I've been to manufacturers all over the U.S. trying to have them figure out how to create this product, right? So I had to pay to have it deformulated and then reformulated.
Holy crap.
Yeah, some intense chemistry.
Yeah.
Yes. The benefit here is I could have them reformulate the product that was known as HK Girl because I was already adding those extra ingredients into it. So I wasn't taking the raw product. I was taking my version of it, deformulating, reformulating, and then putting out. Then go find a manufacturer to manufacture it. You don't want to know the cost. You don't want to know the time or the effort. It's disgusting.
Wow.
So finally we were able to find a manufacturer for it, and I had to invest significantly into it and to try to get, and then you have all of your legalese behind it, your proprietary ingredients, your NDA, your blah, 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 blahs. You're signing away your life for half these things. And I couldn't have done it without the guidance of my father and our lawyer. And again, you're talking you're banking your whole life. Again, this is the food on my table. you're banking it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
It's a little scary.
so that's kind of the story. So then we stuck with, I'm trademarked all those kinds of things. And I just said, when I go to name this again, I'm not going to do all these fancy names. I don't need it to call it, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to call it what it is. It's just top coat. And below it, I'm going to say it's long lasting, it's super shiny, and it's quick drying. I think that's what
And
I say.
all of those things are true.
Right. The base coat used to be called Stuck On Blue. And I just changed it to Glisten and Glow base coat. Glisten and Glow ridge filling base coat. Glisten and Glow, the cuticle oils used to be called Glistics. They weren't in the traditional pen that we see today. They were in a roller ball. And I said, let's get away from all these cheeky names. Like, they're cute. Okay. But I'm not going to spend money to trademark all these names. Okay? So we're going to just keep it simple, stupid, and we're going to just call it what it is. Is it top coat? That's what it is. Congratulations. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You got top coat today. And we do not need the smoke and mirrors here. We just need you to know what it is, where it's going, and we call it a day. I'm not that. So that's why we went that route. I said, keep it simple. We don't need crazy names for things. Let's call things what they are. I don't want to have to spend time trademarking every single bloody product. You'll be here all day with trademarks that could be potentially completely useless to get. But you got to protect your brand, because I just fought for my life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So now the formula has been the same since even 2013, but it was me adding two set. Now it's all one big show. Do you know what I'm saying? And the manufacturer manufactures it and ships it to us, to my specifications, to my recipe, to exactly what it was. There's no variance. No one else has that recipe. Do you know what I'm saying? It's exactly what it is. So it's it's just like this. No, nobody has that. Trust me, you didn't go through the hell I went through to get to this point. Trust me, it's different than what's on the market. It could say the ingredients on the bottle. The ingredients could be very similar, but it's again ratios and percentages and little various nuances. And again, when you get a bottle, it's going to be the same bottle, but in the summer it's different than it is in the winter, because in transportation, it's colder or warmer, or your house is warmer, or there's humidity, no humidity. All of those things play mitigating factors in the whole show. So that's Top Coat. It's a great product. I will never sit there and say it's the world's greatest product. I don't ever make these boastfully they're great claims. I don't say that. I let the product speak for itself. I love the product. I've been a licensed nail tech since 1996. There's a humongous following for it. I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. If you love it, you love it. If you hate it, you hate it. If it works with your body chemistry, that's great. It's won every, indie award there's possible. You can't even vote for it anymore because it's, just won them all. Fast drying, super shiny, glossy, long lasting, quick drying. It does everything. People say you don't market the Top Coat. You don't talk about it. You don't do enough for it because it's so hard. I'm a great salesperson. That's what I did at AT&T. So I'm a great salesperson, but it's so hard for me to sell another product. I could sell both of you anything else other than my own products, because it's just like, what do I say? I don't want to sound like this person who just like, oh, it's so great. Like, I hate that. You know? Like, try it. Like, we do our best to keep the price as low as possible, to keep it accessible to everyone so that you can try it and fall in love. It's arguably the best-selling product. It's the bread and butter of the whole business. But there's a lot of products that come very close to it. Don't get me wrong, but the refills and different things like that. So Top Coat it's here for you if you'd like to try it. Yes. It's wonderful. We
highly
love you to try it. I'm so grateful you love it. Thank you. And that's it. So that's the story. Awesome. Morning Glory.
Yeah, it's the only Top Coat I use on my nails. For when I'm doing my swatches in my journal and stuff, I use other Top Coats so that I don't waste my Glisten and Glow.
Don't waste it.
Because that needs to go on the nails.
Yeah, I used to think that all toluene Top Coats were basically the toluene base with toluene in them were basically the same. And so I was using a different indie Top Coat, and I started noticing how thick it would get so fast. And I was just like, and finally, it was so funny because the day that you showed up in my stream, and I tell the story, but it's an actual legit true story. I had a window open with a cart that was full because everyone kept saying, try Glisten and Glow, try Glisten and Glow. And I was like, for me, like, I do like desert
Yes.
burst, desert burst. I'm like, I'm gonna buy everything right now. And so I was kind of like waiting, like, oh, I don't know, I still have some of this other product left. And I still have that product left.
Sure.
Because I bought Glisten and Glow and I was just like, oh. And it was like a light bulb went off. Like, it can be, like you said, the same base ingredients, but the percentages, the formulation, it all makes such a difference. And that other top coat is fine, but you do have to add thinner to it all the time. And yeah, you gotta add thinner to Glisten and Glow every once in a while. That's why, I bought the specifically Glisten and Glow Restore and Thinness. I wanted to make sure I had exactly what I needed. But it's just a different experience. And I don't think that you need to be peddling the top coat, because I think the top coat peddles the top coat.
Right. The top coat peddles its own wares. Yeah,
exactly. Like everybody else in the community has said, oh, get Glisten and Glow, get Glisten and Glow. I've never heard a single person personally. I'm sure there's probably some rando out there, but like, no one I've talked to has been like, that's a subpar top coat, you should try this. Like, no one's ever said that.
Right.
So I don't blame you. I forgot, because there was something that I just remembered. That there's something that you were the first one to do, and I have to ask about that. When did you start making Glitter Grabber?
Oh boy, that's a fun one. I gotta tell you, I honestly don't know. Because here's why. So once COVID hit, I don't remember the day after that. So
I totally understand that.
I want to say, like, it was because COVID did so many things. Besides killed a bazillion people, that is horrible and tragic, and made us all very sick, and it's changed our life forever. Here's what it did for the nail polish world. People couldn't go to the salon, so they had to do their own nails. So I spent a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time, fielding the Q&As, doing lives for creating things. Out of that came several new products. So out of that became Glitter Grabber. Out of that came an unscented latex barrier control alt delete. That's the only thing that kept its fun name, because I love it.
I've got a couple bottles in my
That's a cute one. That's a great one.
Yeah. So that one didn't lose its name. That one was too good. And if you want to take it, please. There you go. That's the unscented. Yeah. The dry and prep came about, and Restore and Thin came about. I think that's the 4 or 5 that did. And the reason those came about is because I listened to the community. Or as Rich Lux on YouTube says, the community. That's what he says. So I always laugh at him. I listened to what they said, and they were what were they struggling with? The prep of the nail. What were they struggling with? Okay, we don't want the Sally's Beauty Supply thinner. We want something that's going to work better with your polishes and your top coat and things like that. Now, our Restore and Thin is going to work with anything. But that's just because at this point, I've known the science behind it all. And I am by no means a scientist, okay? I know really the science of like one product really, really well, okay? And that's about it. But, and that's only because I was forced to learn it, okay?
Yeah.
There was no SAT prep on that. No, but those products came about because of that. So I want to say that Glitter Grabber is probably early 2020. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I could probably look it up as to like when did it go on the site, or when did it, I'm sure somewhere along the line here's what I've done a really crappy job at, right? I've done a really crappy job of timeline on a lot of things as to when things happened. Big things I know, but like individual products or different releases I don't know. Even like when did I release like a Love Songs Trio Volume 1? I mean, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was like, given we're on volume 3, which by the way, everybody, you gotta watch the VOD. Everybody loved the polishes.
Good. I'm so glad. I was so stressed about those, y'all, because I had COVID, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to quickly make something. And I had thought about a couple of them, and I made 3 other creams that I was going to originally release, and then I talked to Stephanie, and then I was like, hold on, Stephanie, I got to think of something else. I was like, let's do this video game theme. And then I'm like, nah, that's not, I was trying to force it. And when you try to force something, it doesn't work. And because you're in a time constraint for swatching and deadlines and different things like that, I just said, nah, it's not the right fit. And now it's gone a whole new route, and that's going boho vibes is where that trio is going now. With other,
that's better
fit, right? With other,
Yeah.
I think like naming a polish is very difficult too, and finding a theme that hasn't been done, because we did themes every single month for Hollow Hookup for 10 years, or for 4 years. That's 4 times 12 months times 4 years. That's, please, how many more themes we have left? Then we got the themes in PPU. Like, I'm out of themes, kids. Like, really. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of the long way around your question of when did Glitter Grabber. I didn't ever know of anyone creating a Glitter Grabber before me, so I know, and now there's a lot of, variances on it. Again, that's something that I take, something and add something to and play around with the formula on it. And I play around with the formula. Stephanie can attest to this. I'm still working on something that her and I had talked about back in 2020 that still isn't up to my par, that I'm still playing with on a daily basis, and still
2022 that
2020 what did I say? 2024?
2020.
Okay, 2020.
2020.
Sorry.
No, I wasn't even in the hobby in 2020. I was one of the, Danny and I were both, I think,
COVID babies?
The 2020 crop. The 2020
we were like,
babies.
2020. Okay.
Finally
Love
started
it.
streaming. I do want to do one little tangent, Jill. First of all, thank you for sending me the Valentine's trio for my first PR, baby's first PR. I have to gush about At Last because, first of all, favorite color is red. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's also my husband and I's first dance song. So this is precious to me.
Love At Last. Great song. Love Etta James. So yeah, that's awesome. Yay. I'm so happy. That's the thing that that's the cool part about nail polish. Like we're talking right here. You just touched someone's life in a completely different way than you would have ever thought. That brought you back to a memory. People buy for two reasons, emotion and logic. We already discussed that nobody's logically buying a $13 bottle of polish, right? So emotion.
Guilty as charged.
Emotion. So the emotion there for you is what, besides you love the color, you love that. And that's a wonderful thing. And I'm so glad. That's the stuff that brings joy to my face, because it's like that brought someone to a nostalgic place, or brought someone to, my husband and I love that. That's gushy and so cute, and I love it. Yay!
I'm a sucker for a love song. I'm actually going to be doing a special, and I both of you, I need your
okay.
song suggestions.
Okay.
But I'm doing an ASMR late night love song DJ stream.
Love. Okay.
On Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So niche.
And we're, it's so niche, but like that's my thing though. My thing is being so niche, but being like, this has been my dream forever. You're all gonna come with me. It is the beauty of being a streamer, is you get to make people obsessed with the same things you're obsessed with. But I am going to be taking people's dedications like a late night love song DJ. The weirder the better, and if the song is tonally dissonant from the message,
that is even better.
That's preferred. If it's like, I know that you've been gone for so long. It's been 13 years since we broke up, but I still think about you all the time, Brad. And I just want you to know I want you back. And then the song is, when a man loves a woman.
Oh, God. Oh my.
I'm pretty sure I've heard that on my local one.
I'm sure. If not Delilah. Delilah's got it, or Delilah, whatever her
that's
name
what
is.
it
Isn't
reminds
that the
me
one
of. I was thinking of Delilah.
Delilah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's... sweetie, Brad has moved on, baby. You gotta go. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
yeah.
you got to move on. So yeah, I was so excited because I think, like, you talk about themes. I love that you did like the volume 3 of this collection, because like I said, I love songs so much that I'm like, I don't know how on your website I didn't notice that there were previous ones.
Right.
And now I'm like, well, damn.
I need to go get them.
I gotta go back.
I know, right? There's, and some of them stay on for a long time. It's only the batch. So here's something unique about Glisten and Glow. I statistically only make one batch of every single thing I make. Color-wise, nail polish-wise. I have remade two or maybe 3 polishes in all the time. It doesn't happen. So if it's something that you want, buy it. If it could go Deserted Beaches from one of the collections, fall, I think, or that was gone in 3 days. It's not coming back.
Dang. What color was that?
Like a neutral. I think I have it right here. Hold on. You might just get lucky. It's right here. It's like a neutral.
Can't get it again except for right here.
That is, I see why. That's
a
pretty.
neutral.
Oh.
That's very pretty.
So it's just a lot of neutrals, but some polishes will stay a long time. Sometimes batches are larger than others, just depending. This one has actually a very small batch, this Love Songs Trio, because I was so unsure of what I wanted to do with it. So I said, I'm getting the vibe of champagne, roses, and chocolates.
See, I did champagne, strawberries, and chocolate is what I was thinking, and I was obsessed. Okay, go on.
So that's totally it. And I was like trying to, because I had already made what I would call the quintessential Valentine's Day polish in PPU, the Goddess of Love. I'd already made what I'd call that.
I should be getting
that's
mine
what
today,
I'd go, okay.
I need it. I'm like, where is that PPU?
Yes, that's awesome. So if I've already made that, I'm like, okay, well, we're done. But you can't be done because it's only a small, So I said, but I love reflectives. I have a bunch of them, but I love color reflectives, but I don't make a lot of reflectives, but I prefer to make creams and crellies. That's kind of my world. Sure, hollows are great. I've made those but again, I did hollow hookup for 4 years. Every polish was a hollow. So
yeah.
Oh,
what haven't I done?
Even realize that.
Yeah, what haven't I done? So you're like, okay. And I try not to go with the ebb and flow of trends. I try to just do what makes me smile, because it's just be doing something because it's trendy is going to temporarily pay the bills. It's, again, that punch drunk type thing. So I try to do something that I think is going to work for my target demographic and my client base, which is a cream. A lot of people like creams. A lot of people like less special effecty polishes. They think that if there's a flake or a shimmer or a glitter, it's a distraction in the polish. Heard that many times. So that's kind of what, where we're at. And I'm glad that you guys both like them. That's awesome.
We do. Because, I'm not normally super into reflective either, but these are so jam-packed that they remind me of like a Hollywood dress. You know what I mean? Like a red carpet.
Yes.
Yes. So beautiful. So
yes.
Love it.
And being able to see the reflectiveness, because there's a ton of glitter. We're like the flashlights out, like really seeing it, because they are jam-packed. And that is actually, I think they're going to do pretty well. I think based on a lot of the vibe I can get is based on different things on Instagram or social media. And there's quite a few hits on Priscilla's video that she did. There's quite a few views on it. So I hopefully.
Oh, is that the short nails with the gold reflective?
Yeah, she has a TikTok that she uploaded to Reels. It's got the gold, and then it switches to the red, and then it switches to the chocolate one. Yeah, I'm trying to even see what it has for views on it right now. Over 5,000.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. An example, a sale post, my most recent sale post, had 19.2 thousand views. Just a sale post. You're like, really?
Nice.
But the rest of them, no, they don't get that kind of huge. But the sale one, it was a good graphic. So I think that's what people liked about it.
Our friend Kadachi in Germany said that she has to buy them because she thinks they're a perfect German flag.
They are! Yes!
She goes, she sends me a message. I have to buy these. Sorry, it's the law, Kadachi. You have to.
I was going to ask Jill, do you have a favorite individual polish or collection, perhaps?
Yes. From my brand, I'm assuming you're asking? Okay, because I could answer from other brands too.
I mean, honestly,
we'd love to hear both.
If you have both, I'm very curious. Yeah.
My favorite polish of all time from not Glisten and Glow is an OPI. It's obviously OPI Lincoln Park After Dark. That's my favorite. Love that polish. And I like...
Okay.
OPI at Midnight is another good one. For the Tinley Park Polish and Beauty Expo, I'll be doing a series of something like... I just did the VIP polish is Party in the Park. And I'm going to do like Tinley Park After Dark and like different things like that to kind of play on that business.
Oh, it's so fun.
The favorite Glisten and Glow polish, I'd have to say, that's not available anymore would be Bunks and Bug Juice. It's a beautiful blue shade. It is one polish I did remake, and it takes a lot of convincing for me to remake something that can be remade, especially. There's a lot of things that variables and why sometimes something can't be remade, just, not having the ingredients are changed or not available or whatever. But so that polish is huge. I love that polish. I also love Raspberry Margarita 2.0 to Raspberry Margarita, both very similar. They are both hot pink hollows. They that is available right now. But those two would probably be my favorite.
What is Bugs and Bug Juice like?
Blue. It's a
What's the formula?
Cream. I'm so sorry, cream.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. No worries.
It's a bright, very bright cream. I love pink. My mother says, could you please just stop making pinks, purples, and blues? I mean, really, Jill. But those are what sell. Let's be real. I did a lot with red this year, which a lot of people, like Danny says, she likes red. And I struggle with red. It's not my first love. So it's hard too. But I've been begged to make it. So I said, okay, I've got to do a lot with red. And I loved Real Coffins of Transylvania on that collection, the dark vampire one. So that's it. If there's always a favorite from every collection, I think, that's also true.
Do you have a favorite polish you've made for polish pickup, or a favorite polish pickup theme? Like a good polish pickup memory?
Yeah. I really enjoyed I don't know, I don't remember what the theme was, but cats and bats. I really enjoyed.
Halloween. Yes.
I have that one. That's the first one I bought.
Yes. Okay. Actually, no, I've got one. Hold on. I've got one. I do like that polish because it's vampy and it's like flaky and it's just magical. My favorite polish I ever made for PPU, now I had to think about this, is Truly Outrageous. It was a Gem and the Holograms theme. I don't remember what it was specifically for. It was a glitter Crelly. Do you have it? Is that why you're saying that?
No, I don't think I have it, but I just, my whole overlay on Twitch is actually mostly due to the influence of the fact that I wanted it retro and 80s, early 90s, and then also Really Star, who made my overlay, brought it to me. It's very Gem and the Holograms inspired.
Nice.
So just very happy.
Nice. It's a blurply type base with neon pink glitters. I love neon pink glitters. I love all neon. I love all neon glitters. That's a big thing. Okay.
That's why we get along.
Yes. So that polish was absolutely gorgeous, and I had to cap it. I thought it could be the last polish I ever made, and I'll explain. So I said if I went out and this was the last polish I ever made, I would be none the happier because I love this polish. I was having an abdominal hysterectomy on August, I think it was 20th of 2020. And that's a big surgery if you know anything about that. And I was supposed to have it at the beginning of COVID. The beginning of, the time, but then COVID hit, so I couldn't. So I was waiting. And you never knew what month they were going to be like, okay, it's your time. And so I said, I was convinced that I was going to die in this surgery. Okay. I swore. I was like, in my head, okay. So I said, I made that polish for, I think it was August PPU or September PPU, whatever it was. And I said, I love this polish. If it's the last polish I ever make, I'll have at least, gone out loving the polish. And because I had to cap it, because I had to pre-pour it and get it all shipped to them, because I would be in the hospital for 5 days at minimum, and thankfully I made it out and everything
God.
was good. And that's the one I'd have to say I love the most. I loved Gem and the Holograms. When I was in kindergarten, I told the teacher and wrote on my papers that my name was Gem, not Jill. And they called me Gem. And they went to parents went to the parent-teacher conference, if you will, for kindergarten, and said, your daughter, Gem, is doing well. And they said, who?
That's awesome.
So I have and I love her little light-up earrings on the doll. Ooh, yes. Okay. So that's the story, Morning Glory. Yes.
That was...
I know.
Whoa.
We think we're asking casual questions, and then Jill hits us with these, amazingly deep... emotional journey.
We're going.
Yeah. I had one Gem doll amongst my Barbie dolls, and I actually didn't know at the time, really what Gem was, because that was more like my sister's. She would watch it. She was a little bit older than me. And I did know what a drag queen was, though, because my mom ran in those circles. And I was I look at my Gem doll and I look at my Barbie doll, and I would say her makeup's really big. her hair is really big, and she was just so slightly bigger than my Barbie dolls. So I just assumed for so many years that I had just like a drag queen Barbie. And awesome. I love that about that.
That's awesome.
Well, okay, I'm curious. So we've talked a lot about like the process of making the nail polish, where the inspiration comes and stuff. What is your favorite part of the process of making a polish from start to finish?
Great question. I think my favorite part is when you're at the final end after when you're mixing the polish, you're going through adding whatever you add and blah, 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 and you're swatching it on the nail wheel and you finally go, it's the aha moment when you feel the formula is perfect. And you say, everything is good here. This is good to go. This is good to go to pouring. This is good to go to production. And because I make one batch, I make a large batch. It's all throw it in the bucket and F it. That's kind of the mentality of it. And so when you're at that, you've swatched from the bucket 1,000 times, not that many, but it's probably at least 30 times to try to just be sure. And when you're at that aha moment and you're good to go and you're like, okay, we're done. And then you pour it into the big gallon containers and then you pour them and go from there. They go into a gallon and then a smaller example. Here's you're not going to we're not going to be able to see. But they go into a gallon, okay? And then they go into a 30. We go into a 32-ounce pourer. So once it's there, and then you put it into that first bottle, and you got the ball on it, the label on it, and I say, Jaren, could you pass me a brush and a cap? And we put it in, and then it goes right on the swatch wheel for that first coat of in the bottle. That's the aha moment. That I'd say.
Fresh.
Yep, that's my favorite part.
So satisfying.
You're like, then you're like, great.
Yeah.
What am I gonna name it? No.
Do you keep that first bottle, or is there a chance? Oh, you keep it.
It's very often that becomes my swatch bottle for lives. Yes, that's very often the case. I probably go through 4 or 5 others because we go, well, where'd that bottle go? But do I have a grouping of every single polish I've ever made?
No.
No, I don't. No. I
have see a wall.
A lot. I have a lot. I know, right? I have a lot. I do have a lot, but no, I don't. Because what happens is someone always says, do you have? I really wanted this polish for so long. Do you have it? And then you say, and you go, okay. And I have one of my swatchers and good friends of mine who lives in Connecticut also, Jen, Caffeinated Cuticles or CC Polishes. She has probably almost everything I've ever made. And I gave her one of polish last time she was here. I said, now listen, you're the only one who's got the bottle. So if I need it back, you got to send it back. But a lot of times, and look, you can see from a swatch photo. But yes, that's most of the time.
Very cool. Stephanie, do you have any other questions?
Oh God!
I mean, I know the answer is yes, but like, which one?
Let me think. We were originally going to. I don't know if you ever watched Inside the Actor Studio, Jill, but
I think I have.
Have you not? Because Danny had it.
When they sit, it's like two people and they sit across from each other. Is that what it is? Yeah, okay, I've seen it.
Yeah, with James Lipton. And at the end, he has like a 10-question thing.
I love it.
It's like... I mean, I could just do James Lipton. 10 questions.
Go. Yes, do it. I love it.
We're going to do it. I don't even know what these questions are.
It's so funny. My mom is going to die because, like, we used to watch it. Inside the Actor Studio. I have a theater degree.
Love.
My mom was always so supportive.
That's awesome.
And she would always record these for me, and we'd watch them together.
Love it.
James Lipton's 10 questions. Oh my God, I can't believe we could do actually James Lipton's 10 questions.
Yes.
This is so funny. I cannot believe right this minute, I'm going to read James Lipton's 10 questions, and we'll see if this becomes a podcast staple for when people come in, because I'm losing it right now. I am losing it. I'm just so amused by this scenario.
Love.
And it's slightly cringed at myself, but we're going to go. All right, I'm going to try to do my best James Lipton.
Okay.
Everyone's going to be like, this is not like, but you're going to hear this voice on the Love Songs Day.
Okay.
What is your favorite word?
Verklempt.
Love it. What is your least favorite word?
Moist.
I was thinking that.
It's a pretty common one. Okay. What turns you on?
Laughter. Fun. Seriousness. Respect. Good morals and values. Good hygiene.
Amen.
Compassion. Caring. Ability to communicate effectively. Long walks on the beach. I'm sure that's it.
Yeah, pina coladas.
Yeah.
What turns you off?
Let's be super honest. It's gonna be my way, and that's just how it's gonna be. So you better just yeah. Like it's
Tell me more. Okay, no.
I would say I like when people listen and follow directions. Just make my life easier is where I'm at with certain things, you know? I'll make yours as easy as possible for you too, I promise. So let's just follow in the line.
All right.
That's I'd say. And then I'd say turn off. Hold on. I got one more. Wait. People not living up to their potential.
Dang.
Effort
Right.
is priceless. Just do it.
What is your favorite curse word?
Probably the F-bomb. Probably. When I'm there, I like the SHIT word too, but probably when I'm really like, I start to get very loud and very New York when I'm hot about something, whether it's hot, like passionate about something or angry about something, either way, I start to get the accent really comes out, you know, like we're working where it's the big show kids, you know, like that kind of thing. Yes.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Love this. I would love to be a hairdresser. I still to this day would love to be a hairdresser. I think that it's very rewarding, except standing on your feet, but I stand on my feet here. So it's like hairdresser. I think I'd always like. I've done many people's hair over the years. I'm just not licensed to do it. You know, that kind of thing. That or I think I will go back to that the survey analysis. I like research, in a regard of learning about the why.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
What profession would you not like to do?
Anything involving numbers. So I am horrendous at math, like just horrendous. Jaren thankfully is extremely good at math, and that's where but I'm over here. Listen, the calculator is right here, kids. Like it's just not my forte. Math is science is a struggle too, but anything really that had to do with those two things, I struggle to stay, unless I'm passionate about something, I struggle to stay focused on it.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome to the jungle, baby.
Incredible. Jill,
you're welcome.
Thank you so much. This has been such an amazing experience. Getting to know you, becoming friends, has been just like such an honor and a privilege and just a blast. And I'm so glad that Danny could experience you at your fullest, you know?
Yes, it's so blessed. I'm so blessed. Both of you are just delightful. I'm glad to get to know Danny better too. It's just that, you know, again, the time schedule gets okay. Well, Stephanie's going to probably be awake. Danny's probably not. I know you work full time. So I'm great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed that you guys wanted me on here today. A lot of people don't want to hear me talk, I'm sure, but guess what?
No, come on anytime you feel like it. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Please, just send us a message.
You're
I have a bone to pick.
Come on now.
Let me on your podcast.
Let's air the beef. No, I don't think Jill has that many beefs.
Why? No.
So, Anyway, I think that is enough for today. We could probably go on for hours and hours and hours. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to check out Danny and I on Twitch and Instagram. And please be sure to check out glistenandglow.com. You can use code STEPH10 while you're there to save 10% off. And also Glisten and Glow 1 on Instagram. I am Fanaticure. She is Danny Shout. Our guest today has been Jill from Glisten and Glow. All of our links are in the description. Join us next time when we'll be broadcasting directly from Jill's shower.
Stay lacquered.